IVM.
I want to thank Intel for supporting our show. Do you remember last year when we spoke about how the Intel vPro platform is built for business? Well, I'm glad to say we've kicked it up a notch. That's right, Intel is back with a new and improved version of the platform. The new Intel vPro platform lets you do more of what you want and less of what you don't. So it's better for you and for your IT teams, who really are the backbone of keeping your work-from-home experience easy and enjoyable. I can safely say that the new vPro platform gives you more enterprise efficiency with less constraints. Visit intel.in/morewithvpro, that's VPRO, to discover how you can get more done with less waiting. If you're listening on the IVM Podcast Android app, click the link that's visible to you now.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with spiders. Did you know that not all parts of the spider's web is sticky? When you look at a classical spider web, you see those parts that branch out from the center, those straight lines. Those are not sticky. The silk that forms the spiral parts that go round and round, that is the sticky part. And these two kinds of silk are made in different parts of the spider's body. It lays these little droplets of these sticky substances along the way and creates this web. You know, spiders, they are tricky little things. Ever wondered how a spider creates this web, lets other people get trapped in it, but they don't get trapped themselves? And the secret lies in the tiny claws that it has on its leg that it uses to walk over the sticky bits. And watching a spider weave its web is fascinating. It's an art. Mastery. How does it know how to make this trap? Where is the knowledge coming from? And having spent the last 100 days on our farm, there are a lot of new things for me to observe. And about a month ago, I saw a spider build its web on my window. This is the window in front of my desk where I sit and work every day. So I have seen the spider build this mega structure of webs. Over a week ago, I no longer saw the spider and realized that it must have died or gone away. But 3 days ago, I noticed that one of the abandoned webs, in it lay a grasshopper. The unfortunate green insect must have taken one wrong hop and landed up in this sticky web. The spider's gone. No one is coming to claim this unfortunate prey. The spider is probably dead. The villain in this story is dead. Yet its influence still exists. Its trap still works. Its deadly effects are still being felt. And this learning from nature is directly related to our lives. How many of us have had toxic people in our past? Deadly, dangerous, negative people in our past lives that have died or moved on or disappeared. Yet, they still influence our lives today. Their traps laid out years ago still exist in our lives today. We are suffering because of their actions of the past. Unable to wriggle and break free, their sticky webs still cling to us. And worse still, we don't know that we are stuck in a web because we cannot see the web. It is too fine, transparent, and silky. All we know is how we feel. And do you know what I mean? Do you know the feeling that I'm describing? See, as your habit coach, I want you to be free from these traps laid out by the demons of the past. I want you to be free and living your life, not trapped and dying slowly by someone who no longer exists. Remember, if the person still exists actively in your life, that is a toxic relationship. And the way to handle that is different. And I've done a whole detailed video on that on my YouTube channel called Awesome 180. I'll link to it in the descriptions of the podcast. But in this process of someone who has left you, who no longer influences you, but you're stuck in the trap, this process starts by first recognizing and accepting the past and the person that was there in your life. Understanding that he or she is gone and no longer matters to you. All that matters is what they left behind that we have to be careful about. Next, stop wriggling and struggling. The more you struggle, the stickier things get and the worse things become. You have to approach this in a calm manner and then look for solutions from this. It is exactly like the little grasshopper. Imagine the amount it struggled just trapping itself further and further in that spider's web. And what I tell my personal coaching clients is to sit on a Sunday afternoon for an hour and plan how to get out of these webs that they are stuck in. Old family businesses, tricky relationships, legal battles, etc., etc. Or just emotional hurt from things that were said, actions that were left open, and you have no closure on them. Make a plan and slowly move out of this trap. I know it is possible because I use the same technique to let go of all my spiders. My clients have used this for their freedom as well. Why should the dead spiders in your life still haunt you, trap you, and kill you? Learn to free yourself and live.
So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome 180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money and Intel. So, been a really exciting week on the network this week. We've had some really cool stuff. My old friend Vivek Lad was on Storytellers and Storysellers. Definitely do check that out. On Cyrus Said, we had Ashwin Sanghi on Thursday's episode, and Cyrus and myself did a cock and bull, just the two of us. That was fun as well on Monday. Do check that out. Masaba was on Advertising is Dead, which was another really, really strong episode from Varun. And on the sports front, both Edges and Sledges, Football Shitball had some really fun episodes. That's the Football Twaddle. Do check those out as well. And if you haven't been paying attention and you haven't been listening to Smile India in these times, I don't know why you aren't. It's the most uplifting show that you could listen to. It's a short, bite-sized piece of really positive things that happen in India. Do definitely check that out. And with that, we hope to see you again next week.
Entertainment is like food for the brain. It's a window to culture and a great way to understand the world around us. The internet has changed what it means to be an entertainer, creating new storytellers with millions of fans. It has spawned a new breed, the story sellers, those behind the scenes creating the business for this ecosystem. They work with brands, platforms and channels who are keen to capitalize on an audience hungrier than ever for more stories. I'm Vineet Kanabar, and I have a ringside view to how stories are told and sold. On my show, I bring you creators, artists, executives, and marketers for a freewheeling conversation around the business of entertainment. Tune in to Storytellers and Storysellers for personal stories, analysis, and criticism every Thursdays as I talk to the brightest minds telling or selling great stories today.